The story opens with chaos everywhere. Fire is raging all around, swallowing everything in its path, and there is absolutely no way out. People are running in panic, trying to save themselves, while in the middle of all this, Kevin is desperately trying to rescue a bus full of children. The question is, will he be able to save them, or will the fire consume everything before he gets the chance? To find out, we go back to where it all began. The film takes us to November 2018, where we are introduced to Kevin, the main character of the story. He works as a school bus driver, living a simple but struggling life. His daily routine is nothing special, and just like any ordinary person, he deals with constant financial pressure. His salary is very low, making it difficult for him to manage his household expenses. At home, Kevin has his mother and his son, but his personal life is far from peaceful. His son doesn't listen to him at all. No matter how much Kevin tries to guide him and send him to school, the boy refuses to obey. This leaves Kevin frustrated and confused, as he doesn't know how to handle his own child. On top of that, even his dog is sick, adding more stress to his already troubled life. Kevin takes the dog to the hospital, realizing that when problems come, they don't come alone. Still, despite everything, he refuses to lose hope. The next day, Kevin returns to his job. He picks up the children and begins his usual school bus route. Everything seems normal on the surface, but danger is silently building in the background. The story is set in Paradise, California, a place known for its dry and hot weather. On the mountains nearby, we see electric poles stretching across the area. Suddenly, a short circuit occurs in one of the wires, and sparks fall onto the dry grass below. Because the entire region is extremely dry, the grass catches fire instantly. What starts as a small spark quickly turns into a raging fire, spreading rapidly toward the nearby forest and eventually heading straight toward the city of Paradise. The people living in the city have no idea that a massive disaster is approaching them. Meanwhile, Kevin drops the children at school and prepares to take the bus to the garage for repairs. But by now, the fire in the forest has grown dangerously large. Some police officers notice the fire and immediately alert the fire brigade. The firefighters arrive quickly, but they realize that the fire is located high up in the mountains, making it extremely difficult to reach. Even then, they don't give up and try to find another route to control the flames. At the same time, some workers get trapped in the spreading fire, adding to the urgency of the situation. Kevin, however, is still unaware of the danger. As he drives toward the garage, he receives a call from his mother. She tells him that his son is vomiting badly and needs immediate medical attention. Without wasting a second, Kevin decides to change his plan. Instead of going to the garage, he heads straight to a medical store to get medicines, because for him, saving his son is the top priority. By now, thick smoke has started to cover the city, and people begin to realize that something is terribly wrong. The wind is blowing directly toward the city, meaning the fire will reach them very soon. Police officers gather together, trying to figure out how such a massive fire started so quickly. While small forest fires are common in America and are usually controlled early, this fire is completely out of control. After investigating, they discover that the fire started due to sparks from power lines. The wind was so strong that the electricity was not shut down in time, allowing the fire to spread uncontrollably. Soon, officials from the electricity department arrive at the scene. The firefighters are furious, blaming them for not cutting off the power earlier despite the dangerous weather conditions. After the confrontation, the department finally shuts down the electricity to prevent further damage. Amidst all this chaos, we see an FBI officer who is also caught in the disaster. Instead of thinking about his own safety, he chooses to help others. He informs the fire brigade that several houses near the forest have already caught fire and people inside need immediate rescue. Without waiting for backup, he takes action himself. He rushes into the affected area, loads people into his car, and manages to save their lives, driving them away from the spreading flames. As the situation worsens, the fire brigade realizes that this is not a small incident. The fire has already been burning for a long time, spreading its smoke across a massive area. Within a short time, it has consumed nearly 5 kilometers of land, turning everything into chaos and destruction. Meanwhile, Kevin receives a call from his boss, who tells him that if the bus in the garage is ready, he needs to bring it back immediately because the children will be leaving early today. But Kevin never even took the bus to the garage. Instead, he is on his way home with medicines for his sick son, completely unaware of how serious the situation has become. The fire brigade struggles to control the flames, as their vehicles cannot reach deep into the forest. Because of this, they deploy small helicopters and aircraft that collect water and drop it over the burning jungle. Even with these efforts, the fire continues to grow stronger, becoming almost impossible to control. Realizing the danger, they call for more helicopters, knowing that fighting this fire from the ground alone is no longer an option. At the same time, the FBI officer who is rescuing people finds himself trapped. The fire begins to surround him from all sides, leaving him with no escape route. Understanding the situation, he quickly makes a decision and directs everyone toward a nearby pond. He tells them to get into the water, believing it is the only way they can survive this deadly fire. Kevin soon learns about the fire spreading through the jungle. He sees fire brigade vehicles rushing in that direction and finally understands the danger. He immediately calls his son and tells him that he will reach him as soon as possible. He warns him strictly not to leave the house, no matter what happens, as the smoke is spreading everywhere. Back at the school, the children are still inside the building. They begin to notice smoke coming through the windows, and slowly, fear starts to build among them. They realize that something is terribly wrong. A teacher named Mary steps in and gathers all the children together, asking them to stay calm and sit in one place. Many parents rush to the school to take their children home, worried that they might get caught in the disaster. But not everyone is able to reach in time. There are still 22 children left behind, waiting helplessly as the danger approaches. Kevin then receives a call from his wife, and it is revealed that they no longer live together. She also learns about their son's condition and tells Kevin not to worry about him, assuring that she will go to the house and take care of him herself. Inside the school, a worker urgently calls out to all the bus drivers, asking anyone with an empty bus to come immediately and rescue the remaining children. But no one responds. The fear of the fire has stopped everyone. The only person who answers is Kevin. Without hesitation, he promises that he will reach the school and save the children. Kevin quickly drives toward the school, determined to rescue them. His goal is to take the children to a safe, open area in Chico. When he finally reaches the school, he gathers all the children onto the bus. Mary, the teacher, instructs him to take them safely to Chico, but Kevin knows he cannot handle this alone. He insists that someone must come with him. Mary agrees and decides to accompany him. She boards the bus with the children, and together they begin their dangerous journey out of the city. At first, the children sit quietly in their seats, unaware of the full danger outside, while police and firefighters continue their desperate attempts to control the spreading fire. As Kevin drives, they suddenly get stuck in a massive traffic jam. Every road is blocked as people try to escape the city at the same time. Cars fill the highway, and there is no movement at all. Time passes, and darkness slowly takes over, making the situation even more terrifying. Kevin realizes that if they stay stuck like this, they won't survive. Thinking quickly, he asks Mary to take control of the bus and slowly move it backward while he steps out to clear the way. Mary follows his instructions carefully. Kevin runs ahead and starts requesting people to move their cars, telling them that there are children on the bus who need to be saved. Some people understand the urgency and begin to make space. After a lot of struggle and effort, Kevin finally manages to clear a path, and slowly, the bus begins to move again, escaping the deadly traffic trap. After struggling through the chaos, Kevin finally manages to move the bus forward and reaches another area. But what he sees there is even more terrifying. Flames are everywhere, and entire houses are burning to the ground. The situation is getting worse with every passing second. Mary immediately tells Kevin that they cannot stop here and must keep moving toward the safe location they were instructed to reach. Kevin pushes forward once again, driving through roads surrounded by fire. Thick smoke fills the air, making it hard to see anything ahead. Darkness begins to take over, not because of night, but because of the dense smoke covering everything. Inside the bus, the children are terrified. The intense heat and the sight of fire all around them make them panic, but Mary does her best to comfort them and keep them calm. Meanwhile, at a campsite in Chico, emergency tents have been set up. Injured people are being brought there, and all buses have been instructed to head to this location. However, not a single bus has arrived yet, except the one Kevin is driving. Because of this delay, the parents waiting there begin to panic, fearing the worst for their children. Back on the road, Kevin continues driving, but visibility is almost zero. He can barely see what's ahead, yet he keeps going, relying only on instinct and determination. Inside the bus, the children are sweating heavily and crying out for water. Unfortunately, there is no water available nearby. Realizing this, Kevin stops the bus at a spot where the fire seems slightly less intense. Mary decides to take the risk and goes to nearby houses in search of water. She reaches a house near a fuel station and begins collecting water bottles. But suddenly, a massive explosion occurs at the fuel station, and Mary screams in fear. Even in that dangerous moment, she manages to gather water and bring it back to the bus. The children finally get some relief as their thirst is quenched. But the fire continues to spread rapidly. Kevin has no idea where the road ahead leads, as everything is covered in darkness and smoke. There is no clear path, no direction, just uncertainty. At the campsite, parents are being reassured that their children are in safe hands. Kevin is known to be a skilled driver, and with Mary by his side, people believe that the children will make it out alive. As Kevin drives further, he encounters a group of people running for their lives. They warn him not to go any further, saying there is no road ahead and that he should abandon the bus and escape on foot. But Kevin refuses. He knows he cannot leave the 22 children behind. Their lives depend on him. He asks Mary to stay inside the bus while he steps out to check for a possible route. But when he looks ahead, he realizes the horrifying truth. There is no way out. Fire surrounds them from every direction, both ahead and behind. They are completely trapped. With no other option, Kevin decides to stop the bus and wait. He hopes that either the fire will calm down or the wind will slow, giving them a chance to escape. Inside the bus, the children are crying uncontrollably, overwhelmed by fear. Mary continues trying to calm them, even as the situation becomes more hopeless. Then Kevin comes up with an idea. He tells Mary to tear his t-shirt into pieces and cover the children's faces so they won't inhale the toxic smoke. Mary quickly follows his instructions. Kevin tears his shirt into small pieces, soaks them in water, and gives them to the children to hold over their noses, helping them breathe in the suffocating environment. At the same time, the authorities finally realize the harsh reality. This fire is far beyond control. It is spread across such a massive area that neither helicopters, jets, nor fire brigade vehicles can stop it anymore. Understanding this, they make a crucial decision. Instead of trying to control the fire, their only focus now is to save as many lives as possible. As the situation grows more critical, senior fire brigade officers address the media, assuring everyone that there is no need to panic. They confidently promise that anyone trapped in the fire, whether adults or children, will be rescued safely. But on the ground, the reality is far more terrifying. Inside the bus, Kevin and Mary begin talking to each other, sharing their personal struggles and pain. Both of them silently feel that this might be their last moment alive. There is fear in the air, but also a strange sense of acceptance. However, their moment is interrupted when they realize that the fire is getting dangerously close. Kevin immediately jumps out of the bus and tries to control the flames around them. He desperately attempts to put out the fire, but the strong winds only make things worse. The fire refuses to die down and continues spreading rapidly. At that moment, Kevin understands a harsh truth. No one is coming to save them. Without wasting another second, he gets back onto the bus and makes a bold decision. No matter what happens, he has to move forward. The bus doesn't start at first, adding to the tension. Kevin keeps trying again and again, refusing to give up. Finally, after several attempts, the engine roars to life. With flames surrounding them, Kevin drives the bus straight through the fire. It is an extremely dangerous move. At any moment, a burning tree could fall onto the bus, or the vehicle itself could catch fire. If that happens, there would be no chance of survival. Inside the bus, all windows and doors are tightly shut to prevent smoke from entering. Visibility is almost zero, but Kevin keeps driving, relying only on his courage and determination. After what feels like an endless struggle, Kevin finally reaches an area where the fire hasn't spread. For the first time, there is a sign of safety. Slowly, he manages to guide the bus out of the deadly zone and continues toward the designated safe location. At the campsite, parents are anxiously waiting, filled with fear and uncertainty. But the moment they see the bus arriving, everything changes. They realize that their children are safe. Relief turns into overwhelming joy as parents rush forward to embrace their kids. Gratitude fills the air as everyone thanks Kevin and Mary for risking their lives to save the children. Even after this heroic act, Kevin's journey isn't over. He still has to find his own family. He searches through the camp and finally spots his mother. Overwhelmed with emotion, he rushes to her and asks about his son. His mother tells him that his wife has already taken their son with her to safety. A few days later, the fire is finally brought under control. But even though the flames are gone, the damage they caused remains. The city has been left in ruins. Kevin returns to what used to be his home, now reduced to ashes. He stands there, silently looking at the burnt remains and the memories that once lived there. As he processes everything, a car arrives nearby. Kevin looks toward it, and in that moment, his world changes again. His wife and son step out of the car, safe and unharmed. Overcome with relief, Kevin reunites with them. The emotional moment brings them closer than ever. Kevin's wife realizes her mistakes, and together, they decide to rebuild their life as a family. After facing such a devastating disaster, they finally understand the true value of being together. And with that emotional reunion, the story of this film comes to an end.